Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching a new Leveling Up review with your boys, the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks crew. And I got my co-host, Rebellious D, and Trav with me. How you fellas doing tonight?
Good, man.
Good, bro.
Ready to rock, ready to get into this episode.
I'm trying to compose myself, bro.
It was a really good episode, but before we start this review, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to this channel, and you hit that bell so that way you're always notified when the Leveling Up boys have a new video up on their channel. So let's go ahead and get into Wandavision, episode 6. And I cannot believe that we're only a few more episodes away before we get to the season finale.
Hey, hit him with that 3 more.
3 more. Put up the 3 fingers. We not the 4 horsemen anymore.
Not the 4. It's the 3.
Not the 4. We the 3. We the 3 now. So after last week's episode, which was jaw dropping, we see that Pietro is back and he's played by Evan Peters now. And throughout the entire episode, it's like Wanda is trying to ask Pietro if he's the same guy. She's asking him questions.
Drilling him.
Yeah, she's drilling him, asking him all these questions to see if this is really her brother, and it is her brother, but it's just being played by somebody else. So, Trav, I want to start with you because you weren't here with us last week because you were off on another planet trying to save their ocean. So, let me get your feedback on episode 5 before we get into episode 6. What were your feelings when you watched that episode?
I tell you what, it definitely wasn't jaw-dropping.
Are you?
Let me say that it was good. It won't jaw-dropping. The best part was the last 5 seconds when Evan Peters showed up at the back door.
Guy.
It was a good episode, though. I'm not hating.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't describe it as jaw-dropping, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was kind of strong.
No,
that was very strong.
No, jaw-droppings is Magneto shows up.
No, it was jaw-dropping when it got.
We knew he was coming.
If they zoom in on the wheelchair rolling up to the door, this Professor X, that's jaw-dropping.
He was like, Wanda, I am here.
Yeah. Could you see it? You see the X rolling up?
Oh, who's that? Hey man, Charles still owe them their W2,
Charles,
man.
Look.
Well, hold on. We don't call him Charles. We call him Wheels.
Wheels. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yo, when Logan called him that in the first X-Men movie, what do they call you?
They call you.
I was
Wheels,
looking at that not too long ago too, man. Funny stuff.
But yeah, like I said, like I feel like the last few minutes of episode 5 were the jaw-dropping moments of the episode because I mean, like it was speculation. Like we kept on talking about it on our previous reviews if he was going to be Quicksilver or not, or if he was going to be Quicksilver from the X-Men universe. But I just feel like it was just an Easter egg. It's because he played Quicksilver in the X-Men universe, and now he's playing Quicksilver in this as an Easter egg, kind of like how we see later on in the episode where there's a Kick-Ass reference.
I was gonna bring it up too, but remember, I can't remember Kat Dennings' character name. Darcy. Okay. Remember, she even said he wore the wrong face. Bro.
He wore the wrong face. So it's very interesting. I like how this week we were in the 90s and they were imitating Malcolm in the Middle on this one.
Oh, right there.
We had the intro, all that stuff, man, and it was pretty dope. Like I will say that with the whole sitcom aspect that we've been getting so far, it's like once they got to the 70s, like I feel like that's when it was really starting to get into the sitcoms that I watched growing up, like with the 70s, and then the 80s we got to the Full House stuff, and now we're in the 90s with the Malcolm in the Middle stuff. I believe once we get to the 2000s, we're going to be with the Modern Family stuff, I believe. Because I think that's what they showed in the trailer, where it's like she was talking to the camera like they do on Modern Family.
Well, they did a Malcolm in the Middle first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they do that, but what I mean is like how like on Modern Family in The Office, where it's like they're being interviewed and they're talking to the camera. Yeah. So that's what I see happening possibly on next week's episode when they're in the 2000s. Now, to get back to this episode, the start of it, like I thought it was cool. It's Halloween, and Wanda, she comes downstairs in the original Wanda costume that we've seen in the trailer.
Oh, hold on.
What's up?
Not Wanda. Scarlet Witch, bro.
Scarlet Witch. There we go. She comes in the Scarlet Witch costume, and then Vision comes downstairs, and like a Vision-esque costume that he had from back in the day.
He even had the fake Mind Stone over his real Mind Stone.
Yeah, he had the fake Mind Stone. And what else? Like, remember, like, he made a joke about it. He was just like, yeah, you had a luchador.
Yeah, because he made the joke to Nacho Libre.
Yeah, Nacho Libre. Yeah, so that was cool, man. D, let me ask you this. Like, how did you feel when this episode started, and where did you think that the episode was going to go because it was the Halloween special?
I thought it was pretty cool, just them adding in the retro costumes everywhere. It was a quick and easy way to give them a, quick, fun Easter eggs without getting carried away, because everything doesn't need to be put in a movie.
Yeah.
That's how I initially thought of it. Even with the kids' costumes were kind of cool. You got Wiccan. He was dressed like himself in the comics. But Speed, he was also wearing his color from the comics. Okay. So I thought that was cool and fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I'll tell you what, this is an episode for like movie and comic nerds, because again, they made the Kick-Ass reference. You got the Malcolm Middle stuff. They made so many like little nods to stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
That even the Yo Magic Claymation commercial. Yeah. Bro, I mean, that's what we grew up on with the Go-Gurt commercials.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, the Go-Gurt and
exactly.
Is it Danimals?
Danimals.
Danimals was around. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what it reminded me of. Just seeing Vision tell Wanda that he wasn't going to be able to go trick or treating with them that night because he had to figure some stuff out, and I'm glad that carried over from the last episode, where it's like his memory didn't get wiped again, and like he's starting to question stuff and wanting to get answers. During the whole trick-or-treating scene, because now we have Pietro, he's in his classic Quicksilver costume.
Hold on, I gotta interrupt you real quick.
Yep.
The other cool thing is the kids don't call him Pietro, they call him Uncle Peter.
Yeah, Uncle Peter. Yeah,
and that was a cool little nod too to his name.
And it's like it was just cool seeing him in his classic costume, and the whole trick-or-treating thing. Like, I was looking at all of the costumes in the scene to see if there were any other Marvel costumes, because if I would have saw somebody in a wheelchair, I'd be like, okay, they're dressed as Professor X. But I mean, like, it was just cool. And I really thought that his costume was going to be his costume from the Fox movie stuff. So because it wasn't, like, it just showed me that that this is the character that he's going to be. I was also thinking that we were going to have a moment where one of the scenes that he did in the Fox universe, where it's like time froze and then he just went off and did a bunch of cool stuff. But we didn't get that. They stuck to the Pietro of the MCU.
Yeah, they even gave him the style of running that they gave him.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it was cool. Go ahead, Trav.
I just wanted to say something before you moved off of Pietro. He did have a comment, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, what I mean? But when they were talking about if he could take the kids trick-or-treating, he said that he has XY chromosomes.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. Good.
Also, real quick, guys, before we move on into the episode, two quick Easter eggs. Vision making the X.
Yeah.
When he said the only thing separated, and then if you freeze on the can of soda they were drinking, it says Kane.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, go back and watch. I mean, obviously that was like super quick, but yeah. Keep going.
Then that's another thing too. You notice Peter had the mom tattoo. Does that mom stand for Multiverse of Madness? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fire too.
Yep. Good point.
So many Easter eggs, and I feel like with this series, I wouldn't say like some of the earlier episodes, but I want to say, like, as the series has moved along, you really have to watch the episode multiple times. All the Easter eggs, because
I agree.
One of our former guests, Paul Workman, he was telling me, and I believe it was last week's episode, that there was a Fantastic Four reference.
Yeah, it was last week's.
Yeah, so I'm just looking forward to. I mean, the series has definitely gotten better since the first two episodes. It's like D had mentioned before. It's like you do have to play the waiting game, and you do have to wait until it gets to the build up, which they have been doing so far. I really haven't heard or seen anybody talking bad about this show since episode 4. Yeah, since episode 4 dropped.
Yeah.
It's like, the show has been moving smoothly. Now, I wanted to get back to Vision and his quest on finding the truth. And, as he's venturing out into the town, he sees that there are people that are just, standing in motion, or it's like they're glitched. And it reminded me of a video game when I was watching it. Like, you saw the one woman, like, she kept on trying to hang up the ornament, and you could see the tear coming down her face, and I felt really bad.
She was hanging up clothes.
No.
It was an ornament. It was a decoration. It was like not a ghost.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it was
you're right. It was a ghost decoration. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought she was hanging up clothes like on the clothespin.
No, it was like a bat or a ghost or something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
And she was crying, and it's like, as he moves further into the town, again, I was getting these Fallout video game vibes where it's like once you reach a certain area, you can't go any further.
You can't go any further.
And he saw it, like it also reminded me too of like background characters that you see in some of the older TV shows where it's like they're just talking or they're not moving at all. And that's what Vision eventually found out. And then once he starts flying in the air, he ends up finding Agnes, who is at the end of a street. I can't remember what the street was called. It started with an
E? Yeah.
Was it Edward?
No, but I'm assuming that street has
like Lair or something like that.
It has to do with something though. It's not a random name for sure.
No way.
Yeah, but it was like it's like you couldn't go past that street. And when Vision was talking to Agnes, he was asking her like, where are you trying to go? And she got lost, and he was just like, well, how do you get lost somewhere that you've been living all your life? You know what I'm saying? So and then he touched her head and was able to wake her up. So D, that answers your question, because I thought about you as soon as that happened, because remember you were saying that you thought that she was a witch. I thought that she was a bad guy, but we find out that she's a normal person that lives in the town.
Yeah, I think
she's faking.
Because if you remember a few episodes back, she was outside. Remember the episode where she's like, she's inside with Wanda alone? And it's like she knew exactly what was going on. So that's just really weird.
Yeah, she was faking and just playing the part for sure.
But think about this too. The other guy, I can't remember his name, the one that was playing Frankenstein in this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's done it before too, where
remember though, but he asked her a question when Vision wasn't there or whatever. He was like, is there anything you need me to fix?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I definitely fully believe both of them know what's going on.
Yep.
Somehow they've broken out of their trance of some sort.
Well, if they keep Agnes kind of accurate to the comics, then it makes sense, because she is a witch in the comics.
Right.
She is a magic user.
Well, D, you might be right, because another thing is too, she was dressed as a witch for Halloween.
Yeah.
So I saw that too. So I mean, it's a possibility.
It's fun, man. It's just good fun.
She did the Wicked Witch of the West, Wizard of Oz laugh.
Oh yeah,
going crazy too.
Yep. I like that.
It's crazy that, when Vision touched her head and like she told him the truth, that it's just like, you're dead.
Yeah.
You died a long time ago and whatnot. And I love that he's getting the answers that he needs, because he go ahead, D.
No. Finish your statement.
I'm just happy that he's finally getting the answers. Yeah. It's been building up to this, and like we had talked on last week's episode, where Wanda just tried to end the episode, and he was just like, no, you're going to tell me what's going on. And it's like, I like how early on in the episode, it's like you could kind of see like that vibe where it's like Wanda was still trying to control everything, and Vision was just like, oh no, I just have some work stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go ahead, D. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just thinking, well, it's proven that Vision is a part now of what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, Pietro, he seems to know exactly what's going on as well, because every time she asked him a question, he knew.
Yeah.
And it's beginning to get interesting, because he seems to be okay with it, almost like come to terms with it, kind of like Frodo knew, or Gandalf knew he had to get on the ship at the end of Lord of the Rings and go.
Yeah.
Well,
remember, he gave her props. He was like, this place is awesome.
And he was wondering how did you get this together? Maybe he was referencing, how'd you bring me back?
Yeah.
Maybe he knows.
Well, remember, he answered that and said that, he didn't remember anything. He just kind of showed up because she wanted him here. And I also thought it was very interesting that we see he mentions like, mom and dad would love this place. So, now what we saw at the end of the episode, where it seems like Wanda has affected the entire area. I don't know if the entire state of New Jersey is in this dome type thing.
Well, not now, because it expanded.
Yeah, it grew.
It's definitely just the town.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, we don't know. I mean, it could just be the town. It could be the entire state of New Jersey. I was getting Simpsons vibe, where I was just like, the Simpsons predicted this, because remember when they were inside the dome and they couldn't leave?
Yeah.
So, and then plus the Simpsons is on Disney Plus too. So, I mean, Simpsons references everywhere. But, it's like, not that I liked it, but when she shot him at the end of the episode, because remember, he was just like, well, it's not like your dead husband can die twice.
Yeah, right.
And he said it in front of the kids too. So it's like the kids, they don't know. Obviously they don't know. It's like they're getting their powers now. And, he shoots her. I don't know if he's going to return in next week's episode or not, probably. I hope that we see him, because...
Yeah. I don't think it was that big a deal. Like,
she just kind of pushed him aside.
Just kind of pushed them aside.
Yeah. Now, let me ask y'all this, because it might just be me, but did when Evan Peters did his hair up to look like the classic Quicksilver,
right?
Did he remind you guys of Jim Carrey from Ace Ventura?
Yeah, a little bit. It does.
I mean, I guess because he's the only other character that has hair like that.
No, but I mean, like, even his face, like
that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Just look, guys, just look at it again, because I was watching it. I was just like, man, Evan Peters could play, like, if there was ever a Jim Carrey biopic or something, I would be cool with Evan Peters doing it. Like, he's very versatile. We've seen his work on American Horror Story, so it's like, I wouldn't mind Evan Peters doing that role. But because we've been talking about everything that's been going on in Westview, but let's go to the real world now, where it's like they're trying to figure out a way. Monica and Agent Wu, they're trying to get into the hex again, and she's really trying to save Wanda, because she knows that Wanda is struggling right now, which Wanda even mentions when she tells Pietro that she was sad and she was hurt, and then she just woke up in this world. She created this world. I like that Monica isn't giving up on her. Like, that is the true definition of a hero, because Wanda, she isn't a bad person. She's just sad right now, and she really needs help. It was cool seeing her and Agent Wu take out the guards. I was just like, okay, because it's like,
Agent Wu got some moves.
Exactly. Wu. He has some moves, and it's like, we just seen him as a funny character in Ant-Man, and then even with this, it's like, I feel like, he was still that same character in Ant-Man, but when he knocked the guard out, I was just like, all right. I said, all right, Agent Wu, man, like, that was cool. It's also interesting, and I can't remember the leader of Sword's name. Trav, do you know what it is?
I can't remember his name neither.
He's still, set on trying to kill Wanda, because it's like they're trying to get the people out of the town. But like Monica said, it's just like, if you kill her, what's going to happen to the people in the town? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a possibility that they could die too. Also too, when Darcy was telling Monica about like her going into the town and then coming out of the town, like, it's messed with her DNA. So B, asking you first, do you think that this is somewhat gonna kind of play down the road into Captain Marvel 2?
Of course I do.
Because
of course I do.
Well, it's like, with me, it's like I feel like it was only just going to be something that was going to be a part of WandaVision, but we'll see. But go ahead.
I mean, no, I wanted to say it kind of gives me a well, first off, I want to go to the kids, where I know we're on the outside now, but the kids, do you think that they go back when everything goes back to normal or whatnot, or whatever you call normal at this point, when Evan Peters or Pietro and Vision, when they go away, do you think the kids stay?
I would think they would.
Yeah, I mean, because unlike those two, nobody else there is dead but them.
Yes.
Kind of like spirits. Now, it kind of gives me a reverse House of M feel, because if it's happening to Monica, now she just absorbed all these other people.
Yeah.
So it's getting interesting, and I want to see, because if she gets powers, why does nobody else get powers?
Yeah, I can see that. Trav?
Well, So that brings up a question I had too.
Yeah, go.
If Vision's dead, how is he able to break through and come into the real world and still have his body?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the magic is keeping him alive, like an enchantment. If he's outside of that field, he can't live. Hence why he was destroying us. Well, he was kind of falling apart, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, it seemed like.
So maybe she doesn't have his body then. Maybe he's just a manifestation altogether. Because he didn't. I mean, he got the stone torn out of his head, dude. He didn't get blown apart. Yeah. So that was pretty wild. I was like, Vision, get out of there.
I think it is his body only for the fact that, remember in episode 4 when she saw him, she saw what he looked like, kind of like what everybody in the real world saw. Like they saw the dead Vision. So it just made me think: does everybody in town see Vision as Vision, but in reality, like he's
dead?
Kind of like same thing like when with Pietro, where remember like Wanda saw the gunshots in his chest. You know what I'm saying? So,
but again, the only person who sees that is another. Well, as far as I'm concerned, another magic user, which is Agnes. And the way that line is presented, well, you're dead. Maybe she could be talking off of history. If she's playing,
she knows that he's dead.
Yeah, like, well, hey, they could have seen on the news, hey, Avenger dies or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. It's still up in the air. I still think she's acting.
It's a possibility. It's a huge possibility. I mean, if it's revealed, because I mean, like again, like we've all already mentioned before, she's just always around. She's always there. I mean, she was even in the intro for this week's episode. So I mean, it's a possibility. It's a theory that we've been talking about since episode 1, since we were first introduced to her. So it's a possibility that she could be a witch, or she could be the person, because this is something that Becca was talking with me about, where she said that Agnes has been gaslighting Wanda this entire time, and like this is the reason why Wanda is the way that she is. And then she's also been gaslighting Vision as well. So I mean, the possibility is there. The possibility is that Agnes could be the villain, because somebody has to be the true villain in this town. And we know in the real world, it's the leader of S.W.O.R.D. right now. And then the comments that he made about if Maria was still alive, she wouldn't appreciate what Monica's doing and all this stuff, say that she was a disappointment and all this stuff. It's just like, dude, shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't say nothing like that, man. It's like Monica she was a good daughter. I mean, we saw what she did when she was a child, and I was about to say Stargirl and Captain Marvel. So it's just like, yeah, just shut up, man. I am looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on next week's episode. Before we wrap this thing up, what are you guys' thoughts, starting with you, Trav, on the expansion of the Dome? Like, what are you expecting to see in next week's episode?
Well, we know that, damn it, what the hell is Kat Dennings' name, dude?
Darcy.
Why do I keep forgetting her name?
Darcy.
We know that she got sucked into the Dome.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think, honestly, it plays that big of a factor. But, like we said, man, I don't know where the series is going, so we'll have to just wait and see.
Now, before I let you get to
go.
Trav, to piggyback off of what you just said, now we saw that when the Dome expanded, that some of the soldiers, like they became clowns and stuff like that. They were already a part of the world. But do you think that Darcy, Monica, and Agent Wu, do you think that they're going to still have their memories? I feel like that the only person that is going to still know what's going on is Monica, just because of what happened to her DNA, because she's been in the world twice and now this is her third time in there. So
right.
I feel like she's going to be the only one that's going to know. Same question with you, D. What do you think is going to happen now that everybody's inside the Dome?
I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said about Monica, I think other people, whether they're soldiers or even people that were already in there, I think the end result, because we're coming up on the end of the series, or at least season 1 or whatever they're doing with it, I think that other people's DNA will be tampered with and have some sort of special abilities. And ultimately, it's going to come down to Wanda having to come to terms with what she did.
Right.
You know, basically she's playing fairy tale is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
There may not be a larger villain than her. Maybe she's playing both. Devil's advocate, and she's gonna have to come to terms and let Vision go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, this is just one of those things where when we go back to Civil War, when she killed those people, it's like at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, you're a hero, and yeah, you do good stuff. But
you said doo-doo.
I knew that you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
But it's just like she killed people. You know, she killed civilians. I mean, same thing like with Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Like he made weapons. He killed Baron Zemo's family in Sokovia.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's always going to be, like D always says, monsters aren't born, they're created.
Correct.
So what I'm expecting is going to happen in next week's episode, like I said, I think that Monica, she's going to be the person that hopefully gets everybody out of this world. Because this is episode 7. I don't really think that there's going to be like a giant fight or anything like that. I mean, if there is, it's going to definitely be between Vision and Wanda. I do see that Vision is going to be the person that's going to be able to stop her. Yep. There was something else interesting that had happened in the episode when Darcy, when she was trying to look into everything, because remember the leader of S.W.O.R.D., he had something that what was the reason why she needed to stay behind again? Because there was like a firewall or something, right, that she needed to unhack.
I actually think she was just kind of snooping. That's what it looked like, or how it came off to me.
Yep.
I mean, that could be it, but I mean,
but there's other files. Like that's the thing too, Banks. I know we're wrapping it up, but when she was in there, there's plenty of other people's files in there.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see if somebody puts a video out going through all of those.
Yeah.
Because there's probably some Easter eggs on that screen alone.
Yeah. Okay. I remember because she was like, it's something big. Like he has something big that's gonna be able to help them out.
He's trolling, Trav.
But it's just like when she said that, like I was just trying to think, like, well, who could she bring in? Like, if Vision can't get through to Wanda, if Monica can't get through to Wanda, like, who is somebody from the Avengers that would be able to,
get Wheels, through? Baby.
Wheels. Hey, he gonna come rolling up. I think we need to talk. Stuff.
Look. If we're gonna get Professor X in the MCU, I don't want him in the wheelchair. I want him in the hover car.
Oh yeah,
I want him in the hover round, bro.
90s, baby.
Nah, bro. I want the Professor X dude from the Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson movie, where they work at internship.
I still haven't seen that movie, so I don't know what you're talking about. Explain it to everybody that hasn't seen it.
So pretty much they got to work on this group project, but they're like 2 old idiots and everybody else is like computer whizzes.
Yeah.
So just to get them out of their hair, they send them across to the other college university to look for Professor X because they have no idea who Professor X is. They're not nerds. So they describe this dude and they find this guy, wheelchair, bald. They approach him. They're like, Professor X, we finally found you. And the guy's like, these guys are a-holes. And so he's going along with it, and then he like beats him up. I'm like, that's Professor X we need, bro. That's Professor X we need.
I actually think it's gonna be another sorcerer. Maybe, I don't know. They can do whatever they want. It's Marvel. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's either Magneto, Tobey Maguire, or give me Doctor Strange.
Oh God.
Nah, bro. My pick, honestly, I think it's Vision. I think Vision finally gets through to her and tells her, let me go. You gotta let me go.
Yep.
And she lets him go. And it's gonna be emotional.
I just wanted to go out on a limb, Trav. I mean, that's the most
Spider-Man's a good
way.
pick.
Hey, man, if Tobey Maguire shows up, you talk about jaw dropping. Old man Peter? Mm-hmm.
Old man Peter.
Old man Peter.
Oh, man. But with that being said, thank you, everybody, for watching our review this week on Wandavision.
I'm back.
Trav is back.
The man, he's back.
It's good seeing him back. And
Trav was in the blip.
He was in the blip. Trav was in the blip. He was just like, y'all on episode 7. Like,
what it is, I got caught in the car with y'all in Lovecraft country. And, I let y'all escape, and I had to pay consequences. What happened?
Trav was like, I'm gonna take these boys out to the woods, and he let us go, and he had to stay there undercover.
Yeah, he went back to the cops. He said, "Yeah, I let him go," and he got in trouble. But hey, Trav, since you're back this week, tell everybody where they can find you at in social media land.
You know, it's the one-stop shop for your boy, and you gotta hit up that Instagram at CK Audio, baby.
All right, D.
That's gonna be rebellious _D23 at Instagram.com.
That's right, baby.
And you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can look me up on Facebook by typing in Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Make sure that you follow all of the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you are feeling generous and would love to donate to us, we have a Patreon at Leveling Up Banks. And make sure you check out our podcast where we drop new episodes every Tuesday. And right now we're celebrating Black History Month. So make sure you check out those episodes because we've had some incredible guests and we still have something to come. And make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, leave some comments. Let's talk about this week's episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What you're looking forward to in episode 7, what you're looking forward to with the entire series. And make sure that you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified.
Yeah, can't forget about the bell, baby.
That's right. Hit that bell, baby.
You gotta hit that
podcast
bell
in the description.
Yes, the podcast is in the description. And with that being said, happy Halloween, even though we're in February right now.
This guy.
You know what? I want to ask this question, and everybody that watches our videos, please say what you would do in the comments. I'll start with you, Trav, then I'll ask you, D, and then we're done.
Jesus.
It's the Halloween episode. If you were in that town, if you were in Westview, starting with you, D, what costume would you be wearing?
Static Shock. Young Virgin.
Nice pick. Trav?
You.
Okay.
I got the singlet on.
Now, okay, I was about to make sure. Were you talking about me or were you talking about the show you? I had to make sure.
Show you.
Yeah, to show you. You know what
you're
your
I talk about Benjamin Banks. I'm coming with my singlet. I'm gonna be money shuffling.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Put your pinky up.
You know, I'm gonna approach Diamond Victor Griff and let him know, don't you ever come in my house talk to me like that again.
Hey, he need a tag partner, so maybe all of my gear is right over there in the closet right now, so I can give it.
I got you.
Okay, I'll give it to you. If I was in this world, y'all already know who I'm going to be. Azuka Midoriya, Deku,
that's
baby.
right.
And I'm going to be smashing through everything. So, again, everybody, let us know in the comments what you would be dressing up as for Halloween if you were in Westview. And with that being said, we'll see you next week with some more videos. And make sure that you check out everything else that we have. As always, stay positive and keep them pinkies up. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Be sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and get notified every time we upload a new one by subscribing and ticking the bell icon. You can also listen to the full episode by searching for Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks on your favorite podcast app. If you'd like to help support more great content like this, be sure to check us out on Patreon. We'll have the link posted in the description below. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.